Hey guys, I am here today with this. This is the 2025 Lexus LX700 Hybrid. Let's get into it. So the LX700 is the SUV in the Lexus lineup, and boy, does it offer lots of good stuff. I can't wait to tell you about that. Under the hood, I've got a 3.4 liter twin turbo powered V6 that's paired with an electric motor. That's the hybrid here. But what's interesting about this system is that it really only gains you 1 mile per gallon in efficiency. But what it does gain you is in performance. And boy, could I feel that. Let me tell you more. Okay, so that system is putting out 457 horsepower and 583 foot-pound of torque, those are some nice torque numbers for a beast this size, huh? And so that torque, which obviously is being assisted by the electric motor, is doing a couple of wonderful things. There are 3 scenarios which are gonna love this. One, the towing capacity. It's 8,000 pounds. That is very nice. 2, off-roading, right? This is actually a capable off-roader. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But 3, and this is where I really experienced it, using the driver assistance when you're on the freeway. Boy, when I put this into the dynamic cruise control, it was so smooth, something I did not expect out of a car this size. From an engineering standpoint, there are 2 interesting things about this vehicle. One, the electric motor, the hybrid system, is encapsulated by a waterproof system, which is something that the Sequoia and the Tundra do not have. And it's also being cooled in the rear by the rear AC system, which is kind of interesting. And then because this has an alternator and a starter, they're saying that this is a flawless starting situation, right? So the driver of this vehicle will never get stranded with this vehicle not starting. Sounds good to me. The trim I'm driving here is the Overtrail, which gives you a few things. Number 1, we've got the 18-inch wheels, and then we've got these 33-inch all-terrain tires, which are beasts. But honestly, they were those all-terrain tires that were really nice on the freeway, so I could appreciate that. We've also got an underbody skin plate and a 2400 watt inverter, which is great in case you get stuck. Also in the Overtrail system, you've obviously got drive modes, but you've also got terrain modes, which is really nice, because you can just do that with a flick of a switch. If you guys watch my channel, you know that I'm here in sunny Southern California. I'm also in the beautiful mountains of Topanga Canyon. This is an area that was just very affected by the Palisades fire, sadly. Luckily, this neighborhood is very safe, but a lot of people in our community lost their homes. That's a whole different video. But where this becomes relevant with this vehicle is right after I received this, we received the most rain we would receive all year. And what that means in a burn area is mudslides. So I had to drive this to Palm Springs for work during that storm. And I've got to be honest with you, it was wonderful. So the amount of security and safety that I felt behind the wheel in this car was remarkable. The way it held the road was remarkable. The way that the safety systems work when I was driving it was truly remarkable. And then when the sun came out and I had to kind of tool around, it was incredibly enjoyable. Boy, if you need a car when the zombies come, have I got the Lexus for you. Okay, so let's take a look at the back end. This is a big vehicle, right? You can see a shot here I took with it standing next to the Hummer EV, just so you guys could get an idea of scale. The good news is it doesn't feel enormous behind the wheel, but I'll tell you that more about that in a minute. But I wanted to show you guys what's happening in the back end. Obviously, this has a 3rd row. This has this kind of interesting thing that raises up the back end so that it meets the 3rd row. I found that really annoying, if I'm honest, because it just meant my groceries were that much higher. but it kind of pays off in the third row. I'll get to that in a minute. So you can do that with a button. It's not very fast. And then when the third row is up, you really don't have a lot of room here. So if you think you're gonna pile your, 6 of your friends and go golfing in this vehicle, you're not going to. It's just not gonna happen, okay? It's not that enormous. But could you fit 5 people comfortably in this car? 6 people comfortably in this car? 7 people comfortably in this car? I'll let you know in a sec. Okay, back seat. Yeah, this is delightful. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is really nice. In this trim, I've got the seat coolers, seat warmers. I can control my own temperature back here. There are vents here and here. I've also got a little cup holder, which I think is a fun party trick. And it's extremely comfortable back here for 2 people. For 3 people, nah, not a huge fan of that, but that's okay. Lots and lots and lots and lots of legroom for the second row. Hooray, hooray. How am I getting to the third row, you ask? That's a really good question. Boom. Obviously, you don't want too much junk in the way back to make it hard for you to get back there. But let me show you about that third row. Okay, guys, so I'm putting the seat up. You can see how long this is taking, right? Not the best, but that's okay. You probably know if you're going to be taking somebody. And let me show you what it's like to get back there. Again, you got to move your junk. Yeah, I got a lot of junk. I'm sure there's a joke in there. It's not in the trunk. Anyway, guess you're about to find out. Okay, so for you to get back to the back seat, I'm going to shut the door. So if this is a kid, they're going to have a much better time than I'm having right now. Here I am in the way back. Okay, headrest up, seatbelt on. Now, inevitably, this is a total pet peeve of mine of third rows, is how the seatbelt always gets stuck. They have a nice little holder here, which is gonna mitigate that, which is nice. But it is actually very easy to access the seatbelt. Great, okay, but the seat's supposed to come here. I am 5'6", okay? I'm taller than the average woman, but I'm not really that tall. And I'll tell you, if this seat was back, I would definitely be a little bit like this. So keep that in mind. You're not gonna put your, grandma back here, unless you really don't like grandma. Charger here, fantastic. This little button right here is going to control the seat, the pitch of the seat. Of course, it's not working because the car, oh, there we go. Okay, so it can go forward, but I had it all the way back, okay? This is all the way back. So this is all the room you're going to get back here. There are 2 very small cup holders, and there's a place to kind of put your phone, which is great, but really, honestly, that can just hold 1 phone, and you probably would have 2 humans back here. I've got a vent here, thank God, and another vent, because I can tell you it's gonna get really stuffy back here. I would honestly say this is a third row for a pinch, not a drive you to school every day in this kind of third row. Sorry, it's not the best. LEXUS does this well in other vehicles, but this isn't my favorite. That's all. But there's so much more to love about this car. I'll tell you about that in a sec. Oh, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about what it's like behind the wheel of this car. It's all there are a lot of buttons and it's a little bit of a mess, but to be honest with you, it's very intuitive and very simple. It reminds me a lot of what they've done in the RX, which is sort of giving you this cockpit-like feel and elevated this center console so that everything's just much more accessible. To be honest with you, I love that. I find it really easy to use, and all of the touchscreens were reachable, which hasn't always been true in the other trims of this car. I drove the LX600 about a year ago and everything kind of felt far away. So that's really nice. I've got Apple CarPlay, I've got Android Auto, hooray. There are different drive modes, like I had said, for, low floor, high floor, easily on the fly here. I've got seat warmers, seat coolers, steering wheel warmer, fantastic. The other beautiful thing in this car is there is a phone charger right here. Very often, manufacturers want you to put your phone away while it's charging, and while I appreciate that, sometimes you just gotta look at your phone. Hopefully it's not while you're driving, hopefully it's while you're parked, but sometimes CarPlay will read you the text and you're like, what? Or they'll say blah, 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 send a really long text, and you're like, I just need to look at that. I applaud Lexus for just putting your phone right there and treating you like an adult. I can put my phone away when I want to. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. I've also got this enormous spot for a for storage right here. You open it up and you're like, wait, what? But what's cool about it is this is a cool box. That's right, you can cool your stuff. Your bubbly water, your Gatorades, whatever you got. This is a cool box. So great, so smart. I don't understand why every manufacturer doesn't do that. And while you're at it, if you're gonna cool my seat and warm my steering wheel, keep my coffee warm. Like, is that so much to ask? I don't know. Call me crazy. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. It has that great old school Land Cruiser feel that if you want to put it in comfort mode, it's kind of bouncy but not uncomfortable. I really enjoyed that. But also if you put it in sport mode, it does stiffen up a little bit, and that's really nice. I was surprised about how much I enjoyed driving this car. I was also surprised by how much I loved parking this car. It was so easy. Turning radius was fantastic. The sensors were great. The cameras were great. I felt like it, despite its size, I didn't feel like I was parking a beast, which is always welcome to this mama. Also relevant to the drive, it's got the 10-speed automatic transmission, not a CVT, which a lot of you will appreciate. So the LX obviously has this enormous signature grille, right? And besides being sort of a controversial design statement, it's also functional, right? Because what happens here is all of these little guys, all these little spots here are sensors, right? So the vehicle needs to be able to have different angles where it can sense the pedestrians and the bicyclists, which is great. But you also want camera, right? You want all of your parking cameras here. You also want the one up top so you can get the bird's eye view, because in my opinion, that's everything when you're parking. But in this vehicle, they're placed really, really well, and you could feel that when you were driving the car, that all of the sensors were beautifully realized. One of the things the LX does not have, which made me sad, that are standard in both Tesla and Hyundai products as well as Genesis, is the camera that comes on when you put on your turn indicator. So in those vehicles, Tesla's kind of engineered poorly because it's placed in the center, which doesn't always make sense. But in the Genesis product, if you are turning left, a little camera will come up on the left side of your screen to show you what's in your left turn lane. I really missed that in this vehicle because it's so big. I felt like maybe I would have some blind spots. It didn't turn out to be an issue, but if there's one thing I could change in this car, that would be it. So many things to love about this car. In fact, I think it's a really interesting one-car solution for a family where, like, you know who you are. The husband wants a 4Runner, something really capable off-road, maybe to do a road trip in, and something where they can drive it until the wheels fall off. And the wife wants something really luxurious, something that she can do carpool in, is gonna feel really safe in. Oh my goodness, this could be that one-car solution, perhaps. So what's the verdict? All right, here's what I loved. I loved how capable it was off-road. I loved how safe I felt in it. I loved how easy this big car was to drive, that it didn't feel like a big car at all. I loved the hybrid motor. Woo, that was a great application for this car. I loved how luxurious it felt. What didn't I love? I thought the sound system was sort of meh for something that you're gonna pay extra for. So, you guys be the judge of that. Put on your favorite tune and see what you think about that. What else didn't I love? Sometimes the adaptive cruise control takes over when you're not ready for it to do so. So if you're going to use some of those systems, you probably want to do a little bit of research to get it tuned to exactly how you want it to be, because while it's very good, sometimes it could be a little bit intrusive to somebody that doesn't want those systems on at all. So just keep that in mind. Thirdly, I didn't find the seats that comfortable. They were very adjustable, but for someone my size, I felt like it was just a little too big, and I would have loved it if it had been a little smaller. But for a larger person, you're gonna love that front seat. So there you have it, 2025 Lexus LX700 Hybrid. Boy, she is a beautiful beast. Do you agree? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm Motorhead Mama. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.